I always wanted to do a series on PPP. So this gives me an opportunity to do my series on PPPs, the pimping pulpit preachers. We know pimps when we see them. I'm a pimp. I'm telling you, my kids are witnesses. They are witnesses. I can recognize a pimp. I can smell a pimp. And I know a pimp when I see a pimp. And who we looking at is a pimp. He is the OG of the pimpology classes. He is the master pimper. The master pimper, if there's such a thing. Anyway, master pimper is the one who is and will go by the name of Jakes. We'll call him Jakes. I call his wife Sarah. It's funny how she got that name, and I read the Bible. And if you read the Bible, you know that was Abraham. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going with the story. Keep it going. Anyway, so this pimp is an OG of the pimp. All right. He teach the pimps how to go out here and do their specific job. Prime example is that preacher down in, well, I'm not going to drop no names because I want to do one on him too. He's a pimp too. So I ain't going to drop no names. But when I do drop that name in that video, you'll know who I'm talking about. Okay. Anyway, Jakes is responsible for pimping, teaching the scholars how to become pimps as he chooses to teach. The reason I say he a pimp, because you know that is one of our rules. Is you see a pimp, you know a pimp, smell a pimp, is a pimp, you recognize a pimp. All right. So I have justification for calling him a pimp. Anyway, he has such a clean slate in his church community that I have a few questions to ask them. You know, just a few, just a few. It's not going to be long, I promise. It won't. Just prove me wrong. Just prove me wrong. That's all I'm asking. Prove me wrong. But when he preach and give you that good word and everything, and you pay them good tithes, and you see that good car he drive home, do you have a car like that? Do you have a car like that? Oh, you do? Oh, okay. He drive a BMW, you drive a BMW. Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay, you got me. You got me. Hey, hey, you can afford it. You can afford it. But let me ask you this. Hey, have he ever invited you to dinner? No, I'm not talking about the deacons, the deaconess, the security team. I'm talking about you, girl. You paid your tithes. Have you ever just picked up the phone and called and said, "How you doing? What you doing? Everything all right over there? Huh? I'm waiting. Have he? Oh, he don't need to. They got teams for that. Oh, oh, maybe that's why Jesus chose 12 disciples. He had to have a team. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Keep a team. Keep a team. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Jake's. Jake's. How many people lights did you pay last year to keep their lights on? Hmm? Hmm. How many times did you open up the congregation and say, dinner on me today? How many? Because you'll know if somebody in that congregation on the seat, because you know they ain't in pews. Pews is, that's my type of church where we sit in pews, but I know it's not enough room for your size crowd of people that follow you. Follow. Keep that word in mind. Follow. Yeah. You ever sat down there one day with them? Figured out if somebody was crying, hurting, or figure out why they was crying or hurting, or maybe, I don't know, held a free funeral for somebody who was in the community but not a member of the church. Oh, I'm sorry, they got to be a member of the church, a tithe member for you to perform the service. And that is if they meet the qualifications, correct? Listen, when you pay your tithes to these storehouses, your pastor shouldn't be flashy. When your pastor become flashy is when time you need to remove yourself. Because no pastor need to outshine his sheeps. You think a shepherd stands out in the middle of a bunch of sheep? Yeah, they stand out by being in the middle. You're going to look through the sheep before you find the shepherd. You ain't got to look through no sheep to find Jakes, do you? Because you ain't got to go through everybody. You can go straight to him. That's your shepherd. You can go straight to him, right? Now you can't. It's levels. You got to go to this person, that person, this person, that person. I bet you don't have a cell phone number. It costs to have a cell phone number. I doubt very seriously if the average Joe can pick up the phone and call TD Jakes. I doubt they can call Sarah Jakes. Even more seriously, I doubt they could very well contact his kids. Any member of that church. Their numbers are not freely open like that. Can't be. They're elite. And how is you, Jakes, the man of a cloth, going to a party? Huh. A party where you know is physical. It's through the sight you can see sin. Oh, but you a man of the cloth, right? You the shepherd. All I'm saying is pay attention. Pay attention to where your money going. Pay attention. We ain't have to pay for, that lady ain't have to pay God a dime to touch the hem of his garment. She didn't pay him a dime to touch the hem of his garment. You know, I think it's very disrespectful that preachers get so big that they forget. They forget the goal. The goal is to instruct the flock. You can't lead a sheep and you are wrong as a shepherd. Nowhere in the world you and your wife look clean as all get out. Clean as all get out. But it's probably somebody sitting in your congregation on Sunday who could be blessed with $1,000. Just surprisingly blessed because you done gave back to the community. How about having those expectations? How about being that type of preacher? Switch the game up. You the OG. Switch the game up. Give back to the community. Stop putting all the money in your pocket. You good? You good? You made a good living? You selling books that just because your name is on it, people buying it. I remember I watched a movie, and this is back when I was getting my spiritual life on somewhat of a track because I was lost. And so I said, let me get my life on a track. And somebody brought me the series Woman Thy Are Loose. And I watched it and I loved it. Man, I love that series where I watched it over and over and over and over and over again. And I never was a follower of anybody, I could say. I never was a follower. And for me to sit up under a leadership where I know it's crookedness, starting at the top, is wrong for me as an obligation to God. You're wrong. You're wrong as two left shoes. You are wrong. And it's so bad now that I don't want to hear his voice. I remember I used to be somewhere somebody would play his voice every single day. And I got to the point I was like, listen, put some headphones on or something. You know, it got so bad that I just don't want to hear your voice. I don't want to hear your voice because I know it's not ordained from God. God doesn't ordain you to prosper and don't take your sheeps with you. God don't ordain that. Even when we go back to the biblical sense, even when Jacob had his kids and they had their responsibilities, each one of them had tribes under them. But it was only three brothers that stayed together: Levi, Judah, and Benjamin. But each one of them had tribes under them. So they had people they were responsible for under them. If you're responsible for a soul, you need to ensure that soul is safe. And ensuring the soul is safe is not buying you a new Mercedes Benz, getting your teeth whitened just because you preach on Sunday. Going to church is no longer going to church. Going to church is a business. It's a business. It is a business transaction between a pimp and a prostitute. Whether you want to sit up under there and be the pimp or be the prostitute is totally on you. But church, the building, whatever they call it, wherever you at, just whatever it is. I'm not trying to get in the religion debate of whether or not a Catholic is more important than a Jewish person or a Baptist is more important than a Catholic. I'm not trying to get into those conversations. I'm trying to bring awareness into the community of recognizing false prophets when you see them. And part of being a false prophet is if you read the Bible for yourself. Some of the things they did in the Old Testament is far from what they're doing today in what we consider our Testament. And if we look at things like they asked to bring sacrifices, and I looked in the Bible and I said sacrifices. Well, they didn't have money to provide. So why is these preachers so hungry over money? Why? It's got to have some money attached to it. You're not important in a church unless you got money. Money talk. You know the saying, money talk and BS walk? Money talk. And you ain't going to be important into nobody church if you ain't got no money. And all I'm saying is that's false prophets. God said among the least of us, Who are we that we get so high up that we are untouchable? We can't communicate with anyone beneath us, meaning anyone who don't look like us, who don't have those things that we have in life. You can't communicate with them. They can't be on your level. But the Bible tell you what you do to the least of them, you doing to him. So, Jakes, while you sitting up there rolling out the red carpet for Sarah and your children, that same red carpet you rolling out, you should be rolling out to your congregation. Should. But I mean, you roll the way you roll because you was the pimp over your pimpology classes. I know I couldn't do it because I'm one of those students. My son and I argue every single day, every day, because I'm one of them bad kids that's going to question, well, we just learned yesterday how all them people gave all that money to Bishop Marvin Winans. We just learned that yesterday. And he got a whole church sitting up there for 20 years. 20 years he ain't did nothing with. We already heard that. All I'm trying to do is make y'all accountable. Make you accountable for the souls that you got going under you. You supposed to be the shepherd. Stand up, shepherd. See, ain't nobody gonna stand and talk to you like that. Cause you at a level where ain't nobody gonna touch you. And I ain't trying to get sued. All I'm saying is from one pimp to another pimp. Kudos, dude. You do you, but you got the answer for that. And your answer a little stronger than me pimping my kids. All I'm gonna say is your answer a little stronger than mine. It's gotta come a little stronger. I got justification for pimping my kids. They pimp me. I got up for my youngest at 4 o'clock in the morning because Chris Brown decided he wanted to release his CD at 4 o'clock in the morning. And she just had to have it. So they pimped me. I deserve this pimping. You know, they got things out of me. $200 calculator I had to buy 3 times. I see for TD Jakes, that ain't no problem. But for me, that was a huge deal. 3 calculators, $600, $200 a piece. And I told them, I said, y'all better never lose this calculator ever in life. Ever. My youngest still have that calculator to today. A calculator costs $200. See, for Jakes, that ain't no problem. But for your regular congregation, that's a problem. We don't got $600 because the teacher wants this specific calculator. It ain't easy. It don't come easy out of my house. I was a single parent. It didn't come easy. Yeah, I worked, but it didn't come easy. See, my congregation, I didn't have a congregation. I had kids. If you want to consider that my congregation, that's my congregation. I had 3 kids. And so I had to make sure my 3 kids ate, which means I'm going to go to bed plenty of nights without eating. I had to make sure my 3 kids had a place to stay. I had responsibility and I lived out my responsibility. But they pimped me through that. Some of the things they had me do, it was above the job of a parent. So, all I'm saying is they pimp me, I'm pimping them back. That's all. But your congregation, I don't think pimped you. I really don't think they pimped you. But I could be wrong. I ain't never been down there. I don't know what that look. I don't know how big your church is because I ain't never been. And as far as I'm concerned, I probably would never come, and I don't even care because it's like the people that are such followers of these preachers are so caught up in saving the preacher's name, they forget who they are. I'm not finna get in no comment and fuss and scream about no preacher, especially if it ain't my husband. Especially if it ain't my husband. I ain't finna fight for nobody else's man. No, mm-mm. So you can say that because I'm the last one that's been to fight over the internet or about a religious figure. Figure. You are a figure. You're not even. I mean, it's not no significance. This is really not. Because I see you using people, and that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. I'm sorry, it's wrong. I don't care how many books. Everybody in your congregation should have got a free book. Every time you come up with a book, you, your wife, your daughter, everybody. Every time something come up, you should do a donation. Instead of asking for donations, do donations to those immediately in the congregation. And I'm not talking about once a year on Mother's Day. I'm talking about every day. You can afford it. Why not? You live in the riches and the golds. Show me a pimp. I'll tell you, you're looking at one.